Genshin Impact secretly revealed Sethos' element. I'm going to prove it to you, and then we're going to discuss the potential for a future 4-star Electro character. Welcome to Jello Impact, where we build and test every single character to help you decide who you want to wish for and build. Now, obviously, I was supposed to release my Arlecchino pre-release, but don't worry, that is coming tomorrow. I just want to make sure I give you the best information possible in there after analyzing the footage and thinking a lot about it. So make sure to subscribe if you want to see that, and for my day 1 testing, because I will have access to her early. Now on to the action at hand. We're going to go to the live stream. I'm going to give that a little mute, and then we're going to find the Sethos reveal. He's going to be part of Sino's story quest. So this is him. Now he's got green eyes and the green earring, but the rest of him is purple. So at first glance, it's like, is he Dendro or is he Electro? And then he's wearing yellow, so maybe he's Geo. That's at least my first thought. But right here, we can see the little Electro vision. So if we give a little snippy snip, and you can easily see that this has to be an Electro vision. It can't be anything else. This is definitely a vision, and it's especially obvious when you look at it with the coloring. But yeah, we can definitely see that this is an Electro vision. So another Electro male character, which we don't have all that many of. And so if we look at all the Electros we have off-field DPS for Beto, on-field for Sino, on-field Electro Healer DPS for Dory, Driver Kaching, off-field Fischl, don't talk about Electro Traveler, on-field/off-field Lisa, on-field Raiden, on-field Riser, on-field off-field Yai, off-field Shinobu, and buffer Sara. So, I mean, a few things stand out to me right away. First is we've got Chlorant coming very, very soon. It has to be very soon. It's already 4.6. We've only got 4.7 and 4.8 before we go to Natlin, and they're not just going to not release Chlorant. I'm getting really, really excited for her. She's the character I've most looked forward to for all of Fontaine. So that's really exciting. But I think we have to talk about Chlorant when looking at Sethos, because she's also an Electro character. This kind of makes the fact that Sethos is Electro and almost definitely going to come next patch, it makes me feel like we're going to get Chlorant next patch, and that maybe they'll have some synergy together. That's like the first thing that jumps out to me when I look at this whole situation. The other thing we have to consider is that Chevreuse just came out. I didn't even know Chevreuse was another word, but Chevreuse just came out, who buffs all Pyro and Electro characters, or at least gives them new options. So I think the first thing what we have to talk when we look at Sethos is there's always potential for an on-field DPS. Why do I say that? Because on-field DPS is the most popular character archetype in Genshin, and it's the most commonly made, so it's the most common and the most popular archetype. So it's completely possible they make another on-field DPS. It's possible Chlorant is the off-field DPS and Sethos is the on-field. By the way, we know he's Sethos because they officially revealed his name. I just want to say that's a possibility that he is. Let's pull up the old Google Doc actually while we're here so we can speculate. The speculation doc. Sethos speculation. So considerations is Chlorant, Genshin, Electro 5-star, Chevreuse. So these are things we have to consider. Missing archetypes. Disclaimer 1 could just be on-field DPS, which would be boring because most of the time on-field DPSs are not that good if they're 4 stars, and you have to get high cons of them, which is hard to do. But missing archetypes. Electro Shielder. I think an Electro Shielder would be really heat. It'd be kind of mean though, because it seems like, because we know Arlecchino can't be healed, so there's a good chance a lot of people will want a shield. If we get an Electro Shield, and you know, Arlecchino should definitely be able to be played with overloaded, so Electro Shielder would have been nice to come out with Arlecchino. So this kind of makes me think no, because Arlecchino, I feel like they would have put him on the banner. You know what I'm saying? Does this make sense? That's my speculation. Dedicated Hyper Bloom. This is what I think we need. Save for a 5-star. This is what we really need. This is what we need from a. That's what we need from a 5-star. We already have a dedicated Hyper Bloom, or at least the closest to it with Shinobu. Nowadays we can get reaction buffers. Now that we have Chevreuse, it's like aggravate buffer, electrocharge buffer, and this could go, any of these buffers could go along with the shielder. It could be an Electro Shielder, but it supports someone like Eula. So it's an Electro Shielder that applies Electro for super conduct, maybe is also a battery, and maybe also buffs superconduct? I don't know. It's a thought, just a thought. Off field. So he could be an off field DPS. Official side grade? I feel like official side grade is possible. Someone, okay, imagine this. Someone like Fischl who also works with aggravate the way Fischl does, but has a much longer field time so that they actually work with Sino. That could be pretty interesting. By the way, the reason I like doing these videos is because it gives me like a reason to talk about what I think future game design, potential game design could be, because I don't like just talking about what future characters they could make, but if it's like honed in, it's more interesting to me. Okay, let's see. For all the different weapon types, we have 3 sword, 3 claymore, 2 bow, 2 polearm, and 2 catalyst. I mean, it's pretty even. It could be any weapon, I feel like weapon spread is pretty even. Could be anything. Not that an uneven weapon spread has ever stopped them from creating like so many pyro polearm characters. Okay. Other thoughts. An electro shielder would also, it could be, I'm gonna say missing roles, missing archetypes. I don't know if I'm using these words correctly, but you kind of get what I mean, because they could combine. Like, it could be an off-field DPS aggravate buffer, an electro shield superconduct buffer. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can combine, it could be an off-field DPS electro charge buffer, an off-field DPS aggravate buffer. I think an electro shielder hyper bloom support, probably not, because Kuki, maybe if he was a 5-star. I feel like there's no way he's a 5-star, by the way. His design, like, let's be real, is just a 4-star. I'm gonna change these to support because I don't know. Any other thoughts? I'm gonna put this on here because you never know. Electro crowd control. Imagine if he's secretly spider themed and he sends out electro webs across the field and pulls people together with electro webs. I just pulled that out of nowhere, but there's no way that's going to happen. But I'm always interested in a form of crowd control that's not Animo. That would just open up so many team archetypes if we could get a crowd control that wasn't Animo. But it would be sick. I feel like there's no way he's a healer. I obviously think they're going to keep crowd control to Animo, but okay, hear me out. Dedicated crystallize. LOL. Obviously there's no way. I just think that would be really funny, and it's something they could do eventually. I mean, obviously he could buff spread. This could be separate. I feel like they wouldn't buff just aggravate or spread. It would be both. A spread Chevreuse would be insanely strong because spread is so strong at a baseline, so I don't think it would be like that. I don't think it would have the restriction. I think it would just buff. So what do I think in terms of likelihood? Just damage, just defense. I think this is my most likely call. I'm gonna call that I think he's gonna be an aggravate or spread support. I feel like these are unlikely. At C0 I could see it, but by the time you get to C6, I feel like something else is gonna be going on. And then overall, I think Electro Shielder, even though I said no because Arlecchino, or yes because Sino Chlorand, I'm actually kind of feeling this one now. I think this is reasonably likely. I actually think this is official side grade is reasonably likely as well. And maybe we'll just put on-field DPS here. On-field DPS gets a higher ranking just because they have lots of them. So my prediction, if I were to pick just one, it's going to be an aggravate or spread support, and they're going to be an electro shielder. That's my call. Let me know what you think. I think that this would be really good for the game because I think it doesn't have to be just aggravate or spread. Maybe it could just buff general damage, general buff. I think this would be interesting too. I think an electro shielder with general buff would be the best because then it could work with aggravate or spread, it could work with Sino, and it could work with Eula, and it'd just be a really interesting character overall. That being said, I'm always scared for 4-stars because it's really expensive to get them at C6. You can only get so lucky and hope to get so lucky. Like, it can be really, really hard to get a high constellation 4-star, and I don't think there's any reason they don't make the constellations of a 4-star really, really good. It sells. So hopefully, but you know, if he's good at C0, then that's okay, right? If they're good at C0, then like Chevreuse is kind of perfect because yeah, she's broken at C6, but she's still really good at C0. You can easily build her at C0 and just over time work towards C6. Also, if they just frickin' include a 4-star selector, or not a selector, but like epitomize path, or put them all the rest in the shop, or just anything like that, then that would be so good. If you want to hear me ramble on about 4-stars, again, I made 2 videos on the topic. They're right over there. This one, the 4-star problem is getting worse, and also this one, the 4-star problem is still getting worse, which I just just made not that long ago. So go check those out. Take care. Bye for now.